Good afternoon. I'm H. Paul from the Pro Traders Lounge, and it is Thursday, the 23rd of November. It's 1:39 p.m. Today, the market's closed in the USA because of Thanksgiving, I understand. So, happy Thanksgiving to our American listeners and watchers, and yeah, enjoy your break. Meanwhile, the rest of the UK and the European markets are open, I believe. So, there will be some. Bitcoin will continuously, perpetually trading anyway. So we're going to be covering Bitcoin today. So there's myself and Nico Kronos on the YouTube update today. So that's Nico. Make sure you give him a follow on Twitter, and of course myself, who you can follow, and I'm H Paul. So yeah, come and give us a follow on Twitter. And of course, if you like the video and you enjoy the video and the content that we provide, please give us a like, and we will continue to bring you more. That's great motivation for us to continue to do so. As I say, we're from Pro Traders Lounge. We cover many basics of learning to trade and encourage people to paper trade while they learn. And here are some of the lessons and things that we cover. We also have live sessions covering many different markets, including Bitcoin, commodities, stocks and shares, and we have specialists in every corner of the market, altcoins. So yeah, please come along, check us out, and see what we're all about. And you can join up through our website here at protraderslounge.com. So come and check that out. But in the meantime, I'm going to jump over to the Bitcoin chart and just analyze what's going on, and maybe give us some ideas for paper trades here, some indications of what potentially we could see happen with Bitcoin. So personally, I have a date marked on the chart, which is the 2nd of December. It's a key pivot time for Bitcoin. As you may or may not know, Bitcoin does tend to follow specific pivot patterns, which we can show you how to calculate using Fib time if you come and visit us in Pro Traders Lounge. But there is a key pivot time that correlates with both the high and the low of Bitcoin, and a key date is the 2nd of December that I have on my chart. So this would indicate that there's going to be a key pivot high or low. A high I'm expecting on the 2nd of December, but let's see what happens. So that's a date to mark in your diary for Bitcoin. But in the meantime, what are we doing? Bitcoin is simply just ranging in this sort of 38 area to, well, say down to 35.5K. It's seemingly creating some kind of sort of ascending triangle here, we can see. So I expect this is going to continue to range for a while and probably tighten. But what can we expect here? Normally Bitcoin likes to not go in a straight line, as we all know, but generally tends to like to take out stops before another move. So what can we expect? Potentially for a push up and then a drop down is one of the scenarios I'm looking for. So take out all the stops that are waiting there, that have been shorting, which would, of course, when the stops are taken, going to push the price up, and then we would see a potential to short this down further. But on the higher time frame, if we do take a step back, look, we can see that Bitcoin seems to be creating a what one might class as a rising wedge anyway. These rising and falling wedges tend to fake out anyway most of the times, because people see the top, try to short, and again stops get taken, price gets pushed beyond the wedge, and then generally tends to fail thereafter. So that's sort of what I'm expecting on a higher time frame. I'm just going to remove my drawings from here. So that's something I'm watching for on Bitcoin locally. Of course, one thing it can do, and is not beyond the realms of possibility, and something to mark, down as an idea is for it to fake out to the downside. Of course, that's not unheard of either. So it tends to push around and drop down, and at that point, that's where I would probably consider looking for a long. I'm not going to be looking to long up here because it's just dangerous territory. uh, but I would be looking for a long, potentially down in this sort of 31-ish area. We'll see how it pans out, but roughly the 31 area for more upside potentially. That's not to say that we can't come up and create some kind of head and then continue down. That wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility also, but yes, certainly an idea to watch there. And that's my sort of preferred scenario on Bitcoin. Other assets that we've been trading recently on in Pro Traders Lounge is silver. This is going to be one of my favorites. We managed to call the absolute top on silver, and have watched this slowly progress down since May 23. Crikey, as it's been that long. You see, it's creating a beautiful channel here and giving us, well, overall, I'm looking for a much lower target. I don't expect it will continue down in this channel, but I'm looking down towards the 1400 mark. And if you have followed us, I was able to give a long from 1720 up to this exact top here at 26. And now I'm looking for more downside and for a higher time frame harmonic to play out. And some of you may or may not recognize this harmonic. If you don't recognize a harmonic, then you should come and visit us again and find out some more to advance your trading techniques in Pro Traders Lounge. So yeah, please come and do that. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for overall on silver. But at the moment, we're a very key area with silver at the moment, and I do believe that it's a good area for a paper trade short, and as thus I'm in a short, not just from the highs, but also have been scalping different levels through our open sessions in Pro Traders Lounge. What I'm about to do now is I'm going to pop over to one of my colleagues called Nico Kronos. Again, you can follow him on Twitter, give him a like, and make sure, again, you give us a like on the video if you like the content that we're seeing. It's a very simple, basic update that I've done today for you, and I'm not going into too technical details. Again, we save that for inside the lounge and why we get to the levels we do. So yeah, I'm going to hop over to my colleague Nico Kronos, and I'm going to let you follow his update. He's got a very similar opinion. So quite often we do have different opinions, but I do say great minds think alike. So without a pause, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand you over to Nico.
Hola, hola, Lloyd. Hello, everyone. Back to our YouTube stream. Thanks, Paul, for everything. So let's just begin. What do we have on Bitcoin? Where Bitcoin is currently and where it might go. So let's talk about this a little bit more. Yeah. I mean, if you are watching our content, we were talking about this previously, the weekly order block, which was the main resistance basically from this whole move up because there was not that much volume here. The largest bit was basically the larger high volume was basically in this area. As you saw, we did reject quite nicely. I did take a couple of shorts. I'm still in my short. Still the weekly order block hasn't been broken. So yeah, just by looking at the price, honestly, it looks like a bit of distributions because you get that instant pump squeeze, which they usually use. The bigger players squeeze out people and use that for selling spot. We still are in a bullish, of course, environment. I mean, If we just check out the trend line, you can see it's still holding up. We had a small fake out a little bit by a little bit, but nothing that big. But we do have an upper trend line. So a bigger triangle is forming here. And I'm honestly really keeping this in mind. So this distribution idea, I mean, if we check out CVD, there has been ongoing bullish CVD. So just by looking at the current range that we're in, you can see higher lows, you can see CVD going lower. So it's been constantly taking out liquidity, squeezing out those people to the upside. But if you check out spot CVD, you can see it's just been grinding down and down and down. So it hasn't been really following the price. One of those we can see just on Bitfinex, which is again a key leader in the crypto market. You can see they have all the time limits above us, so slowly distributing. Again, another limit above us. If you check out the other pair, the USDT pair, again, similar scenario. We have a bigger cluster of limits above us, and they have been T-wapping a lot these few days. You can see just by the negative delta and how small the amounts are, this could be related to T-wapping, so they do not pop up on the radar too much. And the same has been going on for today. So basically, you have the small negative volume delta, which again coincides with that this could be a potential TWAP scenario, which usually bigger players use to distribute larger amounts, but in tiny sections in appropriate time frame. So what gives me the idea here would be a potential SFP of the highs. So we are currently creating some sort of liquidity. We are getting some distribution patterns and a last week up. Honestly, I wouldn't mind. And this would be the first, this would be a bigger short idea that I have. So waiting for that SFP. We have many factors for this that we must first check out as confluence, but the initial idea, just by looking price action, it seems like a valid one. What again could help us relate with this idea is Binance CEO stepping out. As all of you know, like Binance is a really major player in crypto, and with the ETF almost being approved, I don't think those guys really want Binance CEO stepping in and counter trading him. I mean them. So this first step of dismissing the CEO of Binance, I think we are getting closer to putting that TTF idea. And usually, until the news is announced, usually you get that move up on Bitcoin. Same as with Coinbase. Once it was announced that it will be on the New York exchange, the price just kept rising. But at the moment of the news, you saw that bigger initial drop. So I think they might be distributing here slowly for a probably bigger move to the downside. Again, we are not trading based on news, but we can have some ideas. But until some areas are hit, we cannot trade off of that, and I won't trade off of that. So the idea of if we range here a little bit, get that SFP of the highs, maybe from there on we get that larger retrace, break of market structure. Maybe we get the announcement here for the ETF. They get those longs, they get spot buys. You see people getting bullish, and this is the moment where they can sell you a lot because the market is ultra hyped. ultra bullish, and that's when usually they distribute their amount, enter bigger shorts, and then reverse the market. So we'll see about that still. All of order flow has to confirm this, but until we get that, we cannot know for sure. What do we have as confluence for that upper point of control? For that upper SFP idea is the point of control of the value area from 30k, 30 to 70k range. You can see we got a point of control right here, and this would be nice if we get some sort of reaction from that. But again, if not, if we check out this again, we get the value area low here. We are basically in this range inside. So the TA always says that you have a high probability of checking out and looking for the value area high being hit quite soon. But again, it's not something that's 100% based, but it is a confluence. So if we manage to go above this and keep the point of control as support and not as resistance, then you probably might get quickly to that 46, 50k area. But if we reject here, you might quickly find yourself down at 31k where we have the value low. And this is for me key to hold, so that again, exchange to exchange, it's different volume profile, different volume. But 31, 31.3, 30, 30.7, so this 500 range, so something like this, something like in this area. If we get here, I think it's key for us to hold this if you want to see some more upside. But from there on, we can trade this based on other ideas, based on different price action, and we'll see about that. So all in all, from Bitcoin, this is what I'm expecting. So what I'm waiting for, an S&P of the highs. If we get for the lower, of course, we have some decent trades, but this is kept for the Pro Traders members in the launch. So if anybody is up, anybody wants some more trades, of course, we are talking about paper money here. Do join us, and we can check everything out together. Next thing, what I wanted to talk about is an altcoin. Juicy altcoins. I know. So the first one and the last one for today, we have many in the group, but for you all, I am sharing one that I'm currently looking at, and it is ID. ID has a nice head and shoulders pattern starting to form. We have the neckline. We also have a 3-day order block here, which was previously resistance. It was already tapped as support, and you got that bigger bounce. But honestly, I would like another retrace because this low is really ugly. Because this is something we trade off. And it is bound to be taken out quite soon. So if we do something like this, take out this low previous, backtest the value area high. So for me, this whole area is one bigger range. So this, so that's why I pulled the volume profile like that. And yeah, if for me it's quite key to stay above the value area low in the range. If we do something like this, I'm definitely looking for some sort of long position, and from there on, who knows? We might backtest the trend. Backtest the neckline and drop down. We might come back up, backtest the neckline and go even more, or maybe even fake out of the head and shoulders and come back down. So there are three potential scenarios, but we are not. Nobody knows how this will play out. So a potential long paper money position would look like something like this. Again, take profits, point of control, value area high, taking out the liquidity, and then from there on, who knows? But yeah, it is one that I am looking at, but preferably again looking at the bottom part of the 3-day order block. So yeah, that's all from my side, guys and gals. Thanks for listening, and we'll be seeing each other in the next YouTube session. Bye bye.
Thanks, Nico. Cheers for that. Much appreciated. One last chart to show you guys. I'll say thank you for watching today. And please don't forget to give us a like and make sure you check us out. And thank you again for watching. Have a great day.